What?
A too crude dude.
And welcome to the Nightly Grind. Tonight is May 27, 2016. So tonight with us we have myself, T-Bone. We also have Shadow, who's in the upper right corner, Ninja, who's in the upper left corner, Tornsoul, who's in the bottom left, and JG, who's in the bottom right. Pretty slow week this week as far as gaming news is concerned. I have a feeling that things are slowing down because E3 is coming up in about a month. But there's a few things to discuss, Overwatch and Battleborn being some big ones. So first up, we have a Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands trailer. This is somewhat newish game. I'm not sure what the release date is on it yet. But let's do this.
Let's do this.
We're travelers, going miles through mud and muck. We are survivors, equipping the right gear to survive for months in the harshest conditions. We are strangers, far away from home. We are hunters, blending so deep into the environment we become part of it. We are adventurers, doing what no one else dares. We are watchers, seeing everything, never being seen, leaving no trace. We are scholars, studying our enemies, so we can hit them where it hurts. We are judges, deciding who will live and who will die. We are ghosts, and we do not exist.
We do not exist. See more Ghost Recon at E3. So,
All I can say is too many Tom Clancy games.
I'm ready for this game.
Too many.
It's true open world. So if you got 4 people co-op, one person can literally peel off, go to the other side of the entire map and do missions on their own, and then meet up with the other crew. It's literally open world. When they say open world, it really is.
that's cool.
So if like you want to have 2 people peel off and work together on the next town over, taking care of that mission, and then we'll meet you up on the hill. You know,
It's
Yeah.
definitely one I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see more of it. I remember when we first heard about it back in October, I think it was. Before it came out, we were basically making comments along the lines of it looked more interesting than The Division almost to a point. Now, The Division turned out to be a damn good game, albeit the PvP is completely broken. But the single player or co-op is actually really, really well done. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually function this game out.
Well, they said it'll be nothing like The Division, so that's good.
I just started getting a bloody nose.
All right.
Gotta stop doing
I was
all that
so excited about the game. Yeah, it looks interesting, but I think the trailer did a bad job. I've seen other videos of it. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, this trailer definitely they always have like that artsy fartsy trailer
Yeah.
where they're trying to make it seem like it's mysterious and badass. It's just like, dude, you're a bunch of fucking rogue agents, basically. Black ops is what you are, and you're down there doing an illegal drug war. If you've seen Tom Clancy's Clear and Present Danger, you're pretty much getting an idea of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand like the let's make it look like we put a GoPro on the end of the gun. It'll make everybody sick while watching the trailer. Like I don't need that in my trailers. But I think it's funny that we talk about there's no news and then they show at E3. Get ready.
Well, they do that also just for the cinematic effect, to make it seem like it's ooh, look at how cutting edge it is, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a strange, and it's not. This is the only trailer that's done it. I've seen other ones too.
I was
It's a
gonna say,
bizarre
on the other
choice.
hand, we are of the older generation, so we look at that stuff and go, "That's fucking stupid." And then the people that pretty much are younger than us that watch that crap, like from YouTube and all that shit, they're like, "Oh, look at that! That's fucking cool." And, to me, it's just dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird artistic choice, but yeah, I'm excited to see more about it at E3, and I'm sure we'll discuss it for sure after E3.
And they should change it. Just the end of it is instead of "we are ghosts," they should say "we are schizophrenic," because they kind of said a little bit of everything there. So
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was completely open world. I knew they had co-op and stuff like that. I didn't realize how open it was going to be, though.
I think they originally said it's going to be as big, or if not bigger, than the Grand Theft Auto 5 map.
That's pretty big.
So it's supposed to be like one whole fucking country down in South America, Bolivia or Colombia, one of the ones. Yeah. So first off, it's going to be it's got to be big to really have that full open world effect. But if it's really that big and it's massive, it's going to be interesting to see how much the environment changes around you, because they show like the desert wasteland, they show like mountaintops, they show deep, really like thick jungle forest. So that's going to be a hell of an engine to fucking be able to pull all that shit off and make it seem realistic while doing it,
Yeah.
or at least keeping the scale and size of the world down. Grand Theft Auto did a damn good job of it, but they really didn't have much other than city and desert. So
Right.
I think that's why they limited it to 4-man co-op.
Probably. So they could probably make it more dense that way too, maybe. I mean, you think about a lot of Grand Theft Auto map is nothing.
yeah, it's
I mean, it's huge, but it's empty. So maybe, I'm not sure. It's interesting. I'm curious to see when it's going to get released. It doesn't look like they've done a heck of a lot, but you never know. I mean, with Fallout, you didn't hear about it until E3, and it was releasing in November. So they may be closer to finishing it than we think.
I got a feeling this is probably going to be late summer.
Could be.
So with Battlefield 1 coming out the end, beginning of fourth quarter, pretty much, right before the holiday rush, I don't think many games are going to really try to push that one with as much credit it's getting. So I figure they're going to try to release it a little bit earlier. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing like June or July, August, September release.
Could be. Yeah, when's Battlefield 1? November, probably?
I think it's got a release date of November something or other.
Yeah, all the big ones come out in November. They're getting ready for Christmas
Right
time.
before right before Christmas rush.
Yeah. We discussed last week about the I think we did, right? About Facebook/Oculus doing the DRM on the Rift, and I think that was when we talked about the hardware selling the software and vice versa. There was an update to the Revive tool, is what it's called, which allows the Rift exclusive games to be played on the Vive, and the DRM was sort of created to stop that, and then they updated it so it works again. But the problem is that it now bypasses the Rift DRM, which opens the door up to piracy. So the guy said he didn't make it for that reason, but it does allow that to happen. I thought that was kind of funny that...
So they basically opened Pandora's box.
Exactly, yeah. By trying to shut everybody out, they screwed themselves a little bit.
It might actually end up saving the fucking system, because if it's something that's easily hacked and you can actually get in there, a lot of people are going to pick it up just for that reason. And the more people pick it up, the more game companies are going to actually produce products for it, and all you end up saving your product.
Yeah, I mean they're trying to sell a soup to nuts system rather than just hardware.
Yeah.
But it could work. I think it's a bold choice to try and do it that way. That's essentially what Apple did. We came out and said, you're going to use iTunes and you're going to use the iPod and you're going to love it, and people did.
Yeah, but if it's
But they had they had one of the best products on the market at the time. Whereas the Oculus is arguably not the best right now. But that's a long ways away.
You don't have to be the best. You just have to offer the best options.
The best package, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about that last week with the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Wii. The Wii was by no means the best system, but it had the most shiny, pictures to it. It had the most appeal, even though it wasn't nowhere near to the generation. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how it all shakes out. I mean, you have new people entering the VR game. You have, the Oculus was the first ones. They opened the door, and then all these other guys come in afterwards. The
they
Vive,
should've been viable. So.
yeah, exactly, and that it was technically able to do it. The technology was there to do it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I think VR could absolutely penetrate into the market in a few years. Not going to happen right now, but.
Here, in my opinion.
What was that?
Said penetrate into the market. Yeah.
With the release of Overwatch, Battleborn dropped their price to $40, and now it's sitting at 40% off at $35.99. Less. I mean, was it out for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that?
They can't give it away.
Yeah.
It's going to be like $20 by the beginning.
Who else played the closed beta with me?
I played the beta with you. Yeah.
I'm torn. Did you guys have fun with it?
I did not have fun in the beta at all.
Who played the Overwatch mode?
I had fun for the first 8 minutes. Or so. When I was trying to figure shit out, but after
Who
that,
had a lot of fun playing the Overwatch beta?
Yeah, exactly. The betas was a huge part of that, I think. Another thing, maybe just failed marketing. They marketed it as this, every time you heard about it, it was something different. It's an FPS MOBA. It's a team game. It's a this. It's a that. I don't know if maybe they just didn't get their message across. It's not like, it's similar to Overwatch, but they're not like one another. One's a team-based game. The other one's a MOBA style first-person shooter thing. So I don't know if they're like one another, but apparently they're like enough like one another that people are comparing them.
I don't know.
They're being compared because they're team-based shooters, but I think they were trying to... Battleborn was essentially their answer to Blizzard's Overwatch, and they can't compete with it. It's just, it won't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Overwatch, and we can discuss Overwatch as well. Overwatch is just so polished. It's unbelievably polished game. It's not the best team-based shooter, but it's extremely well implemented day one.
I would say it's probably one of the best team-based arcadey kind of like chaotic shooters.
Yeah.
I would even go as far as saying I would put it as better, if not on par, if not better than Team Fortress 2, and that says a lot.
There's a lot more class. I wouldn't say classes, but characters. In Team Fortress, you only have the certain classes.
Well, the difference between that is that you almost can guarantee Blizzard's going to eventually expand on that market, and they're going to bring in more characters and such.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2, you had pretty much the same characters from start to finish.
Well, the Overwatch, I know they had that one video with what's his name, the monkey, Winston. And they cycled through all those pictures at the one point. And most of them are characters now, but there are some that haven't become characters yet. So I can only imagine that those are probably ones they're working on for the future.
And
maybe.
Blizzard's shown unbelievable dedication to their games. So this isn't going to be like a Battleborn in 6 months. They're just going to stop supporting it, especially if it's not financially viable, which Overwatch has probably proven it is. But Blizzard still supports D2 for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is a game that they're going to support long term. It's not going to be like their parent company Activision, who's just going to release Overwatch 2 in 6 months and then basically not support this game. So
Yeah.
it's going to be worth any investment of time and energy you put into it.
I mean, they're looking for a competitive scene on it too.
Mhm.
It's
they're-
definitely got the element for competitive. See,
Yeah.
the balance on a lot of the characters. There's more strategy in counter picking than I would say even it's on par with the League on like counter picks for teams. You will get your ass kicked if you do not have the right team comp, and if they counter pick you, unlike League where it's usually 30 or 40 minutes of just basically having to suffer through the rest of the match, you can actually switch your picks, and it becomes more of a chess match and what characters do what. We've played matches where we've been getting our asses kicked, 2 changes in characters, and we roll the other team like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
And then we've had the same thing happen to us where we dominate for the majority of the match, and then they make 2 quick changes, we don't adapt, and then we get our asses handed to us. So
Full team of Mai.
strategy for that.
Yeah, we had that one team of 3 Mai's that were just wrecking us that one match. That was really annoying. Apparently, the ranked play will be implemented roughly next month at some point. I had heard, I don't know, we never played it in the closed beta, but I had heard that people had issues with it in the closed beta, though I don't know what the problems were, but it sounds like they probably pulled it down to fix some of the problems and then put it up, which I don't really have a problem with. I mean, I don't think anybody should be jumping into ranked right away.
Yeah.
Unless there are some extremely good players that can do it.
See,
But.
he's been so elitist in League, he's been so long since he's been in the Bronze League for League of Legends, he doesn't understand that more people play ranked than they do normal. So
More people play blind than they play anything. The ranked queue, and at least in League of Legends, is actually a fairly small percentage of the
You'd be
community.
surprised.
There are numbers out there. I think it's 20% play ranked or something like crazy like that.
The only
Most people play bot games. Come on.
Or ARAMs at this point,
Come
probably.
on. Yeah, ARAM's probably.
the only problem that I have with Overwatch so far is the tick rate of the servers. It's only at 20, where most FPSs I think are at 60 or above.
40 60.
Yeah, they
I
could
bet
double
on
it
some
easily.
40s.
Hopefully, in their competitive, at least they up the tick rate of those servers. I would hope so. But we'll see.
Yeah.
What exactly is that? And I'm asking because I've
That's
been
the-
FPSing for years on end, but I've never understood the tick rate.
So
I was going to ask the same question.
it's essentially net coding and how it works. Like, so if you have a lower tick rate, the information going between you and the server, and then the server and the other players, will be it'll take longer essentially if it's a lower tick rate. So somebody might see you around the corner, and as you're running past them off screen, they can shoot you while, maybe if you're already around the corner on your screen, they killed you somehow. And you
Just like Rainbow Six
kill
Siege.
cam, on the kill cam, it shows that you were somewhere completely different.
It's like how many times a second the server,
Refreshes their connection between all.
Essentially,
or gathers and sends information. Yeah, I mean, so it's
Yeah, there is
the
an
higher, the
option-
more accurate, the higher it is, the more accurate things are going to be essentially.
Yeah, there is an option in the custom games right now to use higher tick rate servers, but they don't have it set on all their servers yet.
Then that's definitely something they're going to be messing with for the ranked game.
Yeah, hopefully. I would hope so.
You'd think they'd eventually do it for everybody so you can get used to it in a normal game. Well, who knows? Maybe they're just waiting for money to come in from selling the game to then invest in the servers. Who knows?
This is Blizzard's first game, so this is an infrastructure they're completely building from the ground up. I'm sure they probably have had help with Activision, considering Activision has years upon years right now of FPSs. But I can't think of Call of Duty ever really having a tick rate on any of the servers we used to run for it. So maybe they don't.
They all have a tick rate, but it's usually a default number. It's not something you can change unless you have a server that's,
You can mod the configs.
yeah. Like, for instance, when I used to run Counter-Strike servers, there were 60-something and 128s, I think, and that was it.
Didn't CS have 100 and 120s? With the
Yeah,
highest?
there are higher ones, like 128, I think, was the highest, which was awesome. Like, even for like on Counter Strike throwing grenades and stuff, they would take different paths or they would be able to go in different places just because of the tick rate. It was pretty ridiculous.
I noticed that Battlefield 4 also has tick rates on their servers now too. I think their lowest is 40, but I noticed that some of them are there. I know usually the higher the tick rate, the more expensive the server fee is. So,
Yep.
Yeah, the more processing power is involved for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, Haste was just mentioning that there's Overwatch has a whole video, and I linked it in chat. It's 17 minutes and 30 seconds long, talking about net coding. So
I think they've done a damn good job. I haven't noticed many issues that really like glare to me. So
no, and just small stuff here and there, but nothing. It's pretty well done. Apparently, there's a Chinese ripoff already in the works called Legend of Titans. It looks identical in almost every single way. Torrensel posted the images of it. Like, there's a Reinhardt. There's, they all look
Yes.
just like the characters.
Yeah, there's a Tracer.
There's a Tracer. Yeah, there's a Reaper. They're all in the picture. It's pretty funny. Even though they're releasing the game in China, I'm curious to see how they handle that. I don't know how legal.
I don't think they can do much of anything, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how the legal system works.
China and Blizzard have kind of a love-hate.
China's like, why don't you come do something about it?
We gotta realize this is just lore on that. A lot of people used to talk back in the day with Warcraft, why didn't they never introduce the Pandarian class races into it? Part of, I don't know how true it is, but what I heard written back in the day was the reason why they never released the Pandarian race until after Lich King was it's against the law in China to like depict pandas in like such a fashion in the game, and that's the reason they didn't do it. And eventually they did it because they had like a falling out with China. China ended up banning Warcraft servers, or like you couldn't connect within China's borders on Warcraft because it was such a huge industry for Chinese farming, basically. So it's been a while, but I know there was a lot of issues with that. But for a while, Blizzard was actually, you couldn't log into Warcraft if you were in mainland China. So I don't think China gives a fuck about Blizzard. That's why they're probably doing it. So
Maybe. I know that I saw earlier thing speaking about China, and I didn't have this on the page, but I think it's, what are they called, Tencent or Tencent? I think it's Tencent, who owns a huge, or most of League of Legends, has also bought a large share in Paradox Interactive Entertainment, something. They're the ones that did Stellaris, the new game, and they also did City Skylines. So
and
they
Magicka and all.
they have a ton of online games, but they bought a big chunk in Paradox too, which I thought was interesting. Wondering what the purpose of that is. But they own a crap ton of stuff now. They are a large company. I mean, they own the largest game in the world in League of Legends, but a bunch of other stuff too. It's a huge market over there, though, and maybe that's the purpose, to bring some of the Paradox games over there. I don't know. I would assume they're already being sold over there.
Is a very good game company. They are probably one of the most underrated game companies out there, like I said last time. But
Yeah.
they do very good work.
I love City Skylines. I need to play it more. I don't know why I haven't been playing it, but it's a fun game. It's a fun city builder. Speaking about new games, transition. No Man's Sky has been delayed. It was supposed to release next month, but their rumors are July or August. They're pushing it back to, so I'm assuming it's some sort of game-breaking bug that they found or something like that. It's a tiny studio. I think it's 15 or 20 people, like really small. So maybe they found something new. I'm super excited about this game. There's no way it can live up to the hype it's been getting, but I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a cool game. You can be a scientist in it, so it's got to be a good game. But yeah, July or August, which is too bad. But I don't mind game companies delaying their game to fix problems. I have a bigger problem with them releasing them to hit an arbitrary date and then it being shitty when they release it. Like Batman game. Was it, which one? Arkham City? Which one was the?
Yeah, Arkham City.
Arkham City, yeah. And it was never fixed.
Actually, no, it was Arkham Knights, I think it was.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was
I,
just-
I saw. Speaking about the Batman games and with the one being shitty, I saw a trailer for the next one, and it says critically acclaimed, and then they go the first 2 games, and then they don't even mention the third
Oh, yeah,
one.
well,
It was funny.
you don't announce your failures.
No, not and you don't. They couldn't even bring it up in the trailer. Nobody wants to think about that game.
The game you couldn't play.
Yeah, and then they took it down, and then they put it back up and took it down again. Rocket League is now the first Xbox game with cross-network play with PC. Nothing with between Xbox and
Bullshit.
PlayStation users yet.
The old Shadowrun used to do that. There's a Shadowrun game you could play PC.
Shadowrun first person. That was one of the first ones that was actually console to PC, but it was a complete utter failure of a game.
Was it was an Xbox or was it a PlayStation?
It's an Xbox game.
Xbox. I played the Xbox game and I got raped all the time.
This is maybe they mean the new Xbox. I don't know.
You got to realize something. You're never going to be able to make a first-person shooter cross-platform because it's either going to be so unfair for the PC gaming because they're going to have to make the hitboxes like literally the entire screen to make it fair with the controller, or it's PC gamers are going to basically wipe the floor with them because the control you're going to have with the mouse and keyboard is so much greater than you could ever achieve with that actual controller.
Or the aim assist is going to be off the charts for console
That's what I mean
gamers.
by, like, the hitboxes are going to be massive because
Yeah.
they're going to have to try to balance out the fucking speed and how the speed of a mouse is going to dominate the controls of a Xbox or even PlayStation 4. It doesn't matter. Two analog joysticks are never going to equal that to a mouse.
I wonder if they've ever done that. Like, I know they would do it with like a Call of Duty or something. I guess just try people playing with controllers versus mouse and keyboard.
There was
better.
back when it was either the 360 or maybe even going back to the Xbox, the original. Modders were releasing kits that you could basically it was a plug-in for your Xbox. Except it was an Xbox. I don't remember which.
It was a regular Xbox. I remember that.
Yeah, and you could actually put it was basically a KVM switch, so you could plug in a keyboard and mouse. And Xbox did everything they could to basically say it could not be done. And the problem they were having is that it was breaking the games to a point. Because again, now you're using a keyboard and mouse for controlling with hitboxes and auto aim, which basically meant your snapshots were like perfect because there was think about auto snap. I mean, literally, it's controlling the speed of a mouse is never going to be beaten. So there was a lot of issues back then because I was back when I played. It had to be Xbox, the original, because I was back when I played the Xbox because I was looking into that. So
Yeah, I remember a guy at my college who had his connected into his PC.
yeah,
And
I
did
think
it
that was
way.
the thing too. It was like the competitive play for Halo was getting broken. People that were using the Switch and using the actual keyboard and mouse were just dominating because you cannot compete with a keyboard and mouse against controllers. It's just
Well, and Halo was the first game to really do aim assist, and that's what made them so big. Was that they were able to bring a shooter to a console because of the aim assist.
Yep.
If anybody doesn't know, the aim assist, if there's a character going across the screen and you're moving your cursor towards him, it'll pull it in towards his head or his body and help you follow the character. Some sort of crazy algorithms that they figure out. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
it's the two
Technology.
things consoles usually do is the aim assist, which is basically a magnetic lock that'll like if you get your aiming reticle near to where you're aiming, it'll like magnet it in.
Yeah.
And also massive hitboxes, which allow you to basically, you don't have to necessarily have the pinpoint accuracy that you see in most PC first-person shooters. So,
Back to Rocket League. We got way off track.
It's the first Xbox One game that it's
Yeah. Oh, the Xbox One. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to be adding a new map called Pillars in June. And essentially what it does, it's kind of interesting, is you have the goals at both ends. They're going to be adding two like walls in the middle. So you have sort of like 3 lanes between the 2 goals to bounce the ball off of. Yeah, it's interesting to. I mean, that's a game that has been. What was that?
it's not going to be able to be a goalie anymore. It's going to make it more. You're going to have to actually. You're not just going to be able to hit the ball back, and it's going to actually take more aiming to get it in.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm assuming you're describing.
Yeah, well, it's not the if the goals are vertically, the walls go with them essentially. The length, not the width. So you can still go from end to end in one shot, but it's gonna be more difficult.
Welcome,
3D
White Chunks. How's it going, man?
Good way, Junks. Maryland, that's your neck of the woods, Shadow.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, I mean that's Rocket League has turned out to be a great game as far as DLCs is concerned. They update it frequently with free stuff, as well as a few paid things here and there. And most of it's just cosmetic, which is awesome. Terraria as well, they just got their update. It's a small one from what I understand, but they're going to be coming out with a slightly larger one in a few months.
This beard. Thanks, Ben. I don't know. Torn has a good beard too.
I gotta keep mine high and tight for work.
Technically, JT's the one that's got to do that out of all of us.
Yeah, he's got to wear that nice little protector on it. I shave it just for that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to wear that thing.
Yeah, you'll never see me wearing one of those stupid things.
Unless the health department shows up.
The face net.
Then I just put a hat on after that. Then I don't even care. Then there's nothing up here, but I put a hat on first before a beard.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if you are bald, you still technically have to wear a hat or a hairnet. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
Nobody wants those little stubs
I
falling out.
guarantee you, JT says he doesn't wear them, but I guarantee if he knows the health department's coming, he's gonna have one in his pocket. They get the word, he's gonna have
Puts a whole net over his head.
And then they say, well, what happens if I find like I just got like 10 tons of hairspray in here? It's all good. Don't get near open flames.
Near that open stove, yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea, man. Yeah.
Where are we? Grand Theft Auto Online. Further adventures in finance and felony is coming June 7th. From what I was reading, it looks like it's going to be a fairly large update. You become the boss of like this crime syndicate, and we had sort of talked about this before, where you're going to be buying and selling contraband. You're going to be able to purchase a high-rise office and warehouses to do your business out of. I was reading online, a bunch of people were pissed off that there's no single-player game, single-player DLC coming out, but I have a feeling that the vast majority of people are playing online.
Why do you? If you're getting Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC, you're not getting it for the single player game. You're getting it for the chaos that's going to happen in the multiplayer.
Well, there's plenty of console players too.
Fuck them. Who gives a shit about console?
But the last few Grand Theft Autos all had single player DLC. The Ballad of Gay Tony or something like that. I remember that one. Something like that.
You would remember that one.
But yeah, people were pissed off about that, which I find funny. But
Sooner or later, I'll re-download that again. The 60 gigs it takes to download it.
I wonder if the next GTA will even have an offline mode. And when are we going to see more heists for Grand Theft Auto? I mean, holy crap.
That's the big thing for me. Yeah, I would like to see more. So
The big thing about Grand Theft Auto Online was supposed to be the heist, and then we have
gotta fall on the
4.
wayside. See, the thing with that though is that why not they just open up for the modding community? You know what I mean? I mean, if they were to open up the coding for that, like we'll say like a Bethesda does or something, imagine what you could be making in that shit. I mean, they already did pretty much giving like the building tools so people like Torn can make these death trap racing tracks, So, I mean, why not like make some missions? I mean, they have the code in there. Why not just let people go crazy? The modding community could take Grand Theft Auto 5 and turn it into I mean, they've already turned it into a really awesome game with what you can do in it right now. If you could make your own heists, imagine the stuff that they could do. So, I would just like to see, I don't know about y'all, I'd like to see more just straight up like bank robbery stuff. I mean, the only thing you can really rob on the run there is convenience stores. But wouldn't it be cool if they opened up banks around there where it wasn't like a heist, but it was like an open world bank robbery type thing?
Yeah, I think there was...
Even further than that, wouldn't it be awesome if you could actually go cops and robbers in Grand Theft Auto?
They had that in one of the older ones.
Sick.
One of the older ones, they had cops and robbers. Grand Theft Auto 4 something or other.
There's an Arma 3 mod that's essentially cops and robbers, and it is pretty cool. Like, I've thought about getting it just for that.
I'm saying that would be pretty neat where it was like, you already have the chaos on a multiplayer server of people gunning each other down. But what would be awesome is like you could actually rob banks. The NPC controlled cops coming out if it was actually like players coming out. That would be awesome.
Hmm.
Or even like the whole casino thing that they were talking about for a while. Like that would be cool, but
Yeah.
I don't see that happening anytime soon.
No, not really. I really hope this new update gives you an easier way to get money, because it is a grind fest right now to get money. I mean,
It's terrible.
it's obviously so that they'll sell the in-game money through their store, but it should not be that way. You've already sold the game. Just let us unlock some freaking cars already. You know, like I want to own every car in the game.
Insert credit card to get cash.
I want to own every car just so I can try them out. You can't try the cars, and you know it's impossible. It's really annoying.
Sure, you can try them. You just gotta find them and steal them. Yeah,
You could, yeah, but not even all of them. Some of them just don't exist in the open world.
that's true. Yeah.
Like the high end stuff doesn't
So
exist.
find another player that has it, kill them, take their card, and hopefully it's not locked out to other players. And if it is, blow it up because fuck them.
Interesting. Maybe they'll blow you up with the special add-on.
I have no problem with that. I really don't.
No problem with what?
Just fucking raping and taking cars and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean that's the
why
point
I
of
play
Grand
that
Theft Auto Online, but I just
play that game to stay within the lines.
yeah, you play the game to fuck around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna fuck off like that in real life.
I hope not.
No,
Some ser-
My still favorite thing was stealing JT's card and then chasing him around the world,
Just
just
killing me or trying to kill me.
like keeping the horn. And I can't remember what song it was, but I just was chasing him around, just holding the horn in.
Oh yeah, that danner, 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 danner. Yeah.
So I don't think I've had funnier moments than in Grand Theft Auto Online. That's a game that's just set up to have hilarious moments.
Yeah, it is. Really, there's.
Look, man, I don't read minds for Secret Hitler. I manipulate minds in Secret Hitler.
His mind is easily read in that
It's
game.
not really difficult. It's 90% of the time a fascist. You know, it's just-
I know the seriously the
There's no way I can be a fascist this time. I had it the last 3 times.
Joe scared Garrett Bone. He's almost always a fascist, and he's almost always going to draw 3 fascist cards. No matter what.
the first hand will always be 3 fascist cards.
You could literally stack the deck and have 3 fucking liberal cards. Nothing but liberal cards, and he'll still say he drew fucking 3 fascist cards. So.
Alright, what else do we have on the...
Warner Brothers announces a live-action film based on the anime and manga series Full Metal Alchemist. Do you know any about that, Shadow?
Yeah, I know a
Okay.
little bit
Anybody
about
else
it.
know Full Metal Alchemist?
If they
Ninja
do
does.
it right, it could be really grotesque and cool.
It seems like it seems to me like it's a good series to make into a movie. Like they can cut a bunch of the story out and still have a good solid story and make it into a movie.
It depends. There's a lot of moral ambiguity and a moral storyline to the entire Full
Yeah.
Metal. If you dive into the original animated anime, it kind of really goes stupid at some point because the anime got outpaced the actual manga.
Hmm.
But if you follow the manga, it gets really, 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 really dark by the end. I mean, I'm talking like dark, and it has darkness throughout the series. In the first 6 episodes, they deal with the one guy basically. His daughter dies, and he basically brings her back to life as a fucking dog to a point.
Oh, the first episode is...
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of darkness to it. So we'll see how well Hollywood has a tendency to kind of it's rare to have a movie that is dark as Full Metal Alchemist is, because like I said, there's a lot of underlying themes in that anime that are really, really deep moral themes and really, really dark and evil in some areas. So
It could be an excellent movie, but at the same time, they could just butcher it. So we'll see.
Dragon Ball Z could have been a really fucking so.
Yeah.
And that's also the thing is I'm
Dragon Ball Z, you mean Superman or Man of Steel?
well, that was a better Dragon Ball Z movie than the Dragon Ball Z movie.
I know, that was my point.
So, but it's
Or Avatar could have been a great movie. They never made the movie, by the way. It doesn't exist.
But this is the thing, all right? They've been talking about doing this a lot over the past 15, 20 years. They've Ghost in the Shell has been one they've talked about. That actually is getting produced. It's
Yeah, I
causing
saw
a
that.
lot of bullshit right now because they're having Scarlett Johansson play Kusanagi.
Yeah, the whitewashing. Yeah, I heard
And
about
there's a
that.
lot of bullshitting about that. And the truth of that is, it's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Because, yeah, she's supposed to be a Japanese national, but she's also a full-bodied cyborg. And if you look at the series, she doesn't really look Japanese. So it's irrelevant. I'm just curious how they're going to do the rest of it.
Scarlett Johansson.
Hmm.
And but the thing is, I don't really. It's neat to see it happen. I mean, it really is. But I don't think Hollywood's going to do a good job at it. I don't see it happening. I really don't. So they've been talking about, like I said, Ghost in the Shell has been one they've talked about for like 20 years making it into a movie. Akira's another one they've talked about. Akira could be awesome if they did it right, which they won't.
I think they are making that.
Yeah, that one's another one that's
Yeah.
been always been it's out there, but nobody's ever picked it up.
Yeah, that's a huge one. I mean, most people know about that one.
There was a while ago there was I guess an uproar about Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One on the new Doctor Strange. I guess a bunch of people were upset about that because he's supposed to be
Yeah,
an
like a
old-
Buddhist.
old Asian,
Yeah.
The thing with that is that I don't care who plays the role as long as they do a good job at it. All right, it doesn't matter who's playing the role. All right, to me, to a point. We've done a lot of classic. I mean, nobody was crying. Well, some people cried, but they got caught. I'm not going to go into what they were getting caught. But there was a lot of uproar over the one movie for where they turned Kingpin into a black guy, and he's always been a white guy in the comic books. So it's like they do this in a lot of movies, and they do it in a lot of like books and they do a lot of stuff where they change shit because maybe the actor they find to play the role is just the best person to play the role. Who knows what the
Yeah.
situation will be. I don't give a rat's ass who's playing the character as long as the character is done well. It fits the way the actual thing is. That's the thing that worries me the most of all is that I don't know if they're going to do it well. Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson in there, Kusanagi is like the main character in Ghost in the Shell, as in she's like the face of what's going on, but at the same exact token, she's part of the team, and the team has more to do with anything else. So if you don't have the other members of the team, then how it's going to take away from the movie, you know? So I got a feeling that they're going to Americanize it and basically turn it into, it's just going to be a movie with Scarlett Johansson running around, and then they're going to have like cameos with other characters, and that's not a Ghost in the Shell thing, you know what I mean? So we'll see, but I don't think it's. It always worries me when you take an actual movie, because Ghost in the Shell was originally a movie, and you try to remake it. I just don't think they're going to do a good job on it. So,
Yeah, we'll see.
but it'll also be interesting to see if they go full frontal, because there's at least 3 times during the anime that Kusanagi goes full frontal. So
Are they paying Scarlett Johansson enough money for that?
I don't know, but it would be interesting. But it would
I
also
hope so.
probably just
There'll be the shadow cast.
Well, it'll probably just. See, the thing is, yet again, she's a cyborg, so she has no sexual organs or any kind of like, female body, but no like definition. So maybe they'll just have her running around in like a skin tight latex suit, which still wouldn't be a bad thing. So,
Yeah.
but we'll see how they do it. I have no faith that they'll do it right.
And
If you
I
want to
know,
watch Ghost in the Shell, go get Ghost in the Shell and watch it. If you really want to watch a good series,
That's a great
watch
movie.
go watch Standalone Complex, the first one. It's awesome. If you like cyberpunk and you like future, that's the fucking thing to do, man. Trust me, it's well worth the time.
I'm super curious to see how they do Full Metal Alchemist. I think people are gonna be super pissed if they don't do well at it. Like it's an all or nothing, I think, on that one.
It'll be interesting to see how they do the main character and how they do his brother, because his brother is in a full suit of fucking armor, and
That CGI is gonna be awesome.
it's going to be. Ugh. And Edward, the main character, is technically missing an arm and a leg.
Mhm.
So it's going to
How
happen.
do you technically?
He has an arm and a leg, but they're.
How do you technically lose an arm?
I wonder if maybe they'll get somebody who's missing an arm and a leg to play. That'd be cool. If they actually got an actor who was missing limbs, that'd be.
There's no way they could do it because it's going to have to be somebody that's full, and they're going to have to either CGI it or like really interesting artwork.
Skip Thompson.
Edward basically is running and jumping and flipping and doing all kinds of crazy shit because he's, so
Yeah.
movie magic's great, but they couldn't have like a quadriplegic, doing the kind of stuff that they're supposedly
Yeah,
going to be.
they could get that one chick that's always on like Instagram or whatever with the bionic arm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen her? She's like the
I said-
spokesperson for bionic arms.
Like I said, it could be. I guess if you want to watch it, go watch the original. There's a reason a lot of these shows get a lot of the. It's people. I'm sounding like a total fucking otaku, but it's like there's a reason why these shows get a critical acclaim to it. It's not just for diehard fanboys. It's because storylines are fantastic. It's great. They really, really are good. There is a lot of trash out there, but there is a lot of fantastic storylines.
They're gonna have to do it justice. They really
Full
are.
Metal Alchemist was like the first real anime I watched. So
I think there's a lot of diehard fans of that series. So yeah, this is an all or nothing. They gotta go balls to the wall on it and nail it.
And if they do well, it'd be interesting to see them take some other shows and really run with it. Like I said, there's a lot of good storylines and a lot of good shows out there. There's a lot of good movies that could be really make good action movies if they wanted to run with it.
apparently, though, after the Attack on Titan, it's not looking so hot. I heard that was really bad.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't so hot. And that's a cool one. That's a really neat storyline. Attack on Titan. But yeah, there hasn't been a very good track record in video game movies in general. We'll see about Warcraft in a couple of weeks. But
I already heard that has really bad reviews.
I've heard mixed across the board. The main thing I heard was that people who know Warcraft like the movie. And I posted.
Yeah, if you
and I
don't
posted.
know Warcraft, you're going to be kind of confused or lost at some of the stuff going on. So,
And I posted one in the forums. It was a guy, I can't remember his YouTube channel name. I wish I did. He doesn't know anything about Warcraft, and he really liked it. So I think it's pretty mixed. Vape Nation, y'all. Tornzol pointed out, and I had no idea, and I have a confession to make after I say it, that it's been 10 years since the announcement of Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
Oh yeah, somebody made a really funny video showing like how Gabe Newell
Gabe. Yeah, I posted that.
basically talks about Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Like, people ask him about it in interviews, and he's like, "Oh, we're working on it, yeah." And then like 5 years later, he's like, "I have nothing to say."
In 10 years, he goes through
There's
this
the
like
video. In chat.
he starts out, it's gonna happen. Then at the end, he's
creativity
Not gonna happen.
creativity's dead.
So my confession is, I've never played a single one of the Half-Life games.
Well, neither have I.
I have, but I don't know why they get. I don't know.
I should pick it up on a Steam sale and play. I know they have great stories, and
You
that's
should play him on your pocket or your.
yeah, I'll pick them up on maybe they'll be on sale for the summer sale, which is
they're
coming up
extremely
soon.
cheap.
Yeah. I'm not buying them at whatever the full price is now. I know they push them back up again, but yeah, I absolutely should.
dated. I don't know. I've never seen the fanboy addiction for Half-Life. I've played them. They were decent games. But they were never. I played it just to play it. I never really. It didn't really do anything for me. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm responding to chat. So now that Shadow owns this game, I feel like I can talk about Squad every once in a while. They released their Alpha 6 update. It adds the Browning M2 HMG, which is their first vehicle. I think it's funny they call it a vehicle, but it does function sort of as a vehicle. It's a stationary gun in the game. They're adding a few new maps, some other minor fixes. They also are updating the game to Unreal Engine 4.11.
I'm going to answer the one chat thing real fast. The reason that there's no Tarn and no Undead in the first Warcraft movie is based on the timeline the movie takes place in. Tauren are technically not in the world yet, are found, and the Undead do not exist as of yet. The Tauren are actually on the other continent. The other continent is not discovered until Thrall escapes and goes over there. Then that's when the Tauren actually become part of the world. They're there, they're just not in the world as of yet. And the undead do not actually get involved until basically the demons start trying to take over the I can't think of the exact thing. Somebody else who's got a lot more lore knowledge, but it's basically the undead don't get involved until later.
Yes. I assume that they'll probably be in the second or third movies if they ever get to those.
Like I said, I'm curious to see. We'll have to wait until see the movie to see where they're going to end the storyline on this.
Right.
For the first one, but like it's Warcraft 3 pretty much deals with the beginning of the undead, and that has the Thrall escaping and going over to Azeroth, I think it is, and basically founding the new horde. And that's at the same time that's taking place is also the time when the undead start attacking through West. Fuck, dude, you think I would? It's like originally, but it deals with them, and then you have the falling of Arthas. So I would assume the second movie is going to be, if depending on what they do, would be the fall of Arthas, and then the third, fall of Arthas, and the birth of the Lich King, and then from the third movie will probably deal with the downfall of the Lich King. At least that still seems really narrowing the gap, but that's when the storyline really gets good for Warcraft. So.
You guys think there will be a Leroy Jenkins?
A reference?
Dude, how
I
awesome
would not doubt it, but
That would be really cool.
In like the big battle scene.
It'd probably be from like the Jar Jar Binks character in that.
no, I would.
just goes walking off with a bucket of chicken under his
I wouldn't doubt it that it would be something along the lines of it would be like taking a place in a bar or an inn or something, and it would just be like they zoom into the inn and the main character's walking in there and some guy's sitting back in like the booth or telling a story about it.
At least I got chicken would be a funny line, or just a character named Leroy would
They'll have
make
to
it.
do it. It's the most famous. People
Yeah.
who've never played Warcraft know of Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, it's such a great classic internet video.
So,
So I got the regular loot crate this week. I don't have the T-shirt because it's in the wash right now, but it is a Warcraft T-shirt. It's gray and it has the outline in red of I think it's an alliance, and then within that is a cutout of a horde character. It's pretty cool. I got this Dragon Ball Z thing, which I will give to Piper. It's a little
awesome.
yeah, it's a keychain apparently. I don't know who would put their keys on this, but I got this
plastic keys.
Q-Fig, it's called. I got the if anybody knows, I got the Deadpool one that came out a few months ago. This is a Hulk one. It's pretty cool. And then I got an oven mitt, which is the Infinity Gauntlet with the Infinity Stones in it.
Oh,
I thought it's got much padding to it, man.
No, I don't. I haven't tried it out yet. It doesn't. It's not very. It's not very thick.
glove infinity.
It's good enough for me.
Microwave glove, not an oven glove. God.
Yeah, maybe like a hot spoon from the dishwasher you could pick up or something. But that's all that was in there. I don't have the T-shirt, but the T-shirt was pretty nice. And then that was it. I like the oven mitt was pretty.
I see what you did there, Tony.
And that's all I got.
Cool.
Anybody have anything exciting?
We can talk about, Ben's is not here to talk about yet, but the GTX 1080 got released technically today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the new graphics card that's coming out from NVIDIA that's basically supposed to put everything else to shame. Which I will be probably picking up when I can actually get my hands on one, since my R290 decided to die this week. So
Switching to NVIDIA, huh?
yeah, this is going to be my first actual full system that I do not have AMD inside.
Wow.
Bendis is gonna cry.
You'll
Yeah,
like it.
You like it? I have AMD GPU, but
So it brought me over to the dark side, so I got like a 4970 or 4790K for a chip right now, and then I had the 290 for the graphics card. But
I had a cheap Radeon, whatever, as my first graphics card, and it blew up right away. Overheated.
that's the shit I've had with NVIDIA in the past. So I'm hoping that I'm not going to have that same
The
problem.
Radeons, you have to go in there and turn on the overdrive and up the fan speed on your fan controller.
Or put a water block on it like I did, which I don't know why it died, but
I just turned my fan controller up to like 35, just where it starts to get uncomfortably loud. Not uncomfortably loud.
Well, you can put it on auto. You can
Right
set it.
below
You can set it to
obnoxious.
auto, where it won't just be stuck at 20% or whatever is normal. Yeah. So we're playing some Overwatch tonight. I'm assuming
Yeah.
several yeses.
I did finally get my stream to work without crackling.
We're gonna play some
I'm really
board games,
excited
too.
about that too.
I was going to say, I got 2 people that are interested in playing board games. If not, maybe more will join us.
So
I'd be down for some Secret Hitler, but that's
If we do
about
the
it.
board games first and then do Overwatch.
Yeah, for those of us who will still be on.
Up late grinding.
grinding.
The late night show with Tornsel.
The nightly nighty
The
grind.
late night show, or it's his side, the early side, because he's fucking on the West Coast.
Yeah, not as late.
Not as kind of late.
I'm up when you go to bed, and I'm up when.
It actually is. I've one time I've been up to work and I get home like at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I turn on my computer to check emails, and I see Torrance up playing fucking American Truck Simulator, and I'm like,
Well, yeah. If I'm up late working on the website, I like get done about 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, fucking, I need to more and do something, so I'll play. Easiest game in the world.
Well, then I saw that we didn't put the video. I should have, just as a surprise for you. But I saw a video for the Arizona DLC coming out.
Really? I haven't looked around.
Yeah, it was like today or yesterday that it came out. I should have put it on there. It would have been a big surprise.
Hey, look, more desert. Hey, look, more desert.
Yeah.
Hey,
It
look,
is-
there's more desert.
It really is.
You're
There's
going
and
up
it,
a mountain?
it is like the
Great
most.
if, like every once in a while, someone just gets abducted in their game.
you know what? That would be cool just to see Torn do that if they put when they get the Rockies in there, and you actually have to drive uphill and downhill.
I'll find a way off that.
Okay.
I'll Grand Canyon that
Do
motherfucker.
they have lot lizards?
No, but I have slowed down like in town. I'll be like, hey man. Yeah.
It was a seriously janky.
Want to go for a ride?
Janky video too at a point. Like it was like stuttering in one place. Like it was so thrown together.
They need to put hitchhikers in there, you know.
Well, look, the problem is if they can't release a new state like once a year,
Yeah.
it's like gonna be a 50-year 50-year game.
Hey, that's like $30 you've spent. That's a game you can play.
You have to pay for the DLC.
$15. It was $15.
You have to pay for the DLC, right?
No, a couple of states they'll just give you states, I'm sure like if they do like a Pacific Northwest, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Washington, California, Oregon, Utah,
Well, California is the base one, right?
yeah, California, Nevada, and that's it right now.
Okay. And now Arizona, soon to be Arizona.
But yeah, you got Pacific Northwest will probably be a DLC, I'm sure.
That's cool.
Why are we
Alright.
talking about this? It's like
I
the
know.
least exciting thing in the world. I love the game, but I'm not really excited about talking about it.
Well, speaking of which, there'll be more Rocksmith streams now that I fixed my stream.
Ooh,
Yeah, it'd be cool.
So, and there was absolutely no crackling today from my cord, so that was amazing.
nice. It was the cord that was the problem?
No. But I mean, it feeds through the cord, so I just say that.
Oh, okay.
Next time you go to stream, all of a sudden it'll start.
Let's start doing it again. Yeah,
Freak out.
that's my luck.
And the
It's like I
snaps
have the
at the
cord
top.
going through the microwave or something, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, shut the fucking microwave off.
Okay. I guess that's the end of our show. As always, if you like what we do, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and check us out at thenightligrind.tv. Thanks for watching. And that's my wife in the background. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be playing Overwatch or maybe Secret Hitler or something.
Secret Hitler.
Thanks.
See you later.